Would like to begin this video with a poem. My favorite franchise of games ever made. All of them are carefully crafted pieces of modern art. Years of effort from talented game developers who I don't even think have heard of what a bad video game is. And since the release of Super Mario Odyssey almost 8 years ago now, I have been patiently waiting for the next entry in the series. But with such a big time gap since the last game, I can't help but fantasize about what I want the next game to be. So today, I would like to vomit all of my thoughts onto your lap, so I don't have to think about it anymore. Like and subscribe. But before we get into this, we gotta address the gorilla in the room.
Oh yeah.
Donkey Kong Bonanza is very much the spiritual successor to Super Mario Odyssey, in a lot of ways. They both have these open zone style worlds instead of the classic level structure that a normal Nintendo game has. Bonanza also has a lot of movement options, with the chunks being able to surf on them or use them as a double jump, similar to the hat in Odyssey. Both of these games are also huge collectathons. You can search every little corner in these games to find collectibles, and they also use a very similar cosmetic system. Now, I love both of these games equally. I think they are two modern masterpieces in gaming, and I think these games definitely highlight a clear path forward for what the next Mario game is going to be. I think they will stick to the very exploration heavy collectathon style that they have been, and they'll add some really creative gimmick to enhance the platforming in some way, like they always do. But I am hoping for some changes and also some things to stay the same. So let's start with the most essential part of a platformer, the platforming. Now, both these games I just discussed, I think, have perfected 3D platforming in a way no other game has. Simple controls, but with a high skill ceiling. I honestly can't even decide which one I think I enjoy more most of the time, but recently I think that Bonanza has the better system. Mainly because of the surfing mechanic, dude. This shit is a genius. It is so fucking fun to surf around these levels, demolishing everything in your path. But that is a Donkey Kong game. It's hard for me to see where they go from here with Mario. The hat mechanic of being able to throw it and jump off of it and do all sorts of things with it, I don't know how they're gonna top that. Knowing Nintendo, they're gonna fully switch up what Mario's doing, and it's gonna be amazing. And this one, I have no really solid concrete theories on what I think they'll do for the next game. But I do know that there's two routes they could take with this. 3D Mario games either have a more free roam, open world, ridiculous movement system like Sunshine or Odyssey, or games that have much more limited movesets that focus more on the level design, like Galaxy or 3D World. I think there's a chance that they could take the more limited approach with the next game and have Bonanza be their big, free, open roam 3D platformer game for the next few years. But honestly, with the success of the last two games, I have a feeling they're gonna stick with the big, open, collectathon world type of thing. So whether it's a hat, or a jetpack, or fucking rocket boots, whatever bullshit they do with this game, I know it's gonna be great. I wouldn't even be mad if it was fucking Mario Odyssey 2 and they just kept the hat mechanic, added some polish to it or something, because honestly, I do think that that is just platforming perfection. Next, let's discuss the plot, because this is something crucial to a good Mario game. I think for this game, that Peach is gonna get kidnapped by Bowser, and you are gonna have to go save her. But even more important than the story is the setting of this game. Where will we be going? What is the theme of this game? What if Mario went to space? That would be pretty cool, I think. But we've had the classic Mario levels with 64. We've had the big beach setting theme with Sunshine. We've had space with Galaxy. And then we have Odyssey, which is sort of a mishmash of a bunch of different things. Once again, I think they're going to take the Odyssey approach because they did this with Bonanza, but I think it'll be a mishmash of a bunch of ideas for levels. And the theme of Odyssey was travel, which I think really worked with all the different thematic areas in the game. But it would be fun if they took a more Sunshine approach to the game. Okay, so hear me out. I got a dumbass idea. Let's say they continue with the Odyssey plotline. I think this could be reinforced in the fact that Bonanza also followed this plot. If you're a real nerd, you know this shit doesn't really line up, but who cares? Maybe they do end this story with just these two games, but let's entertain the idea that they continue. We start in New Donk City. Mario is on his Mario shit, you know, jumping around, whatever else he does. This would be the tutorial area to sort of show you the ropes of the game. Then obviously here comes fucking Bowser. Bowser has some new crazy tech, and he's like, peep this shit, Mario. He takes Princess Peach and teleports New Donk City to a completely different world. So Mario is trapped, unable to save Peach. Talk about this fucking children's game like it's the most important shit to ever happen. I think they could go full wacky mode with this. We already kind of saw some wacky bullshit that they came up with in Bonanza, this sort of fever dream-esque underground world that they'd had. I mean, they had a fucking burger carnival area. Like what? What is that? You know what it was? It was fucking awesome. It's like the coolest part of the game, okay? My hope is that they pull this wacky creativity with Bonanza and just make some Fever Dream-esque wacky levels for this game. I think one of Mario's biggest strengths is fleshing out sort of these wacky ideas that you wouldn't expect. I also think Mario Wonder, it reinforces this idea even more. You can't tell me that boy Mario wasn't doing shrooms in that game. I think this was also present in Odyssey with like the Luncheon Kingdom or whatever the fuck this was. And honestly, these are the areas in both of these games that are highlights. I think they could really lean into this wackiness of this whole new world thing and go all out with the level design here. We could call it Super Mario Expedition. It's one of those like old YouTube slideshows where it's like the leaked games. If it is called Super Mario Expedition though, all of you owe me $50. Now here is the biggest part of this whole equation, one that has been on my mind and I'm sure many others. Will this game be open world? I actually think there's a really high chance of this, and let me explain. Oh yeah. This was a DLC for Super Mario 3D World that switches up how the entire game functions. 3D World took the classic Nintendo level design for the original 2D Mario games and shifted it to 3D. Super tightly crafted, quick gimmicky levels, and then you're out. For Bowser's Fury, they took all of these elements and turned it into an open world area. This is the coolest shit ever, dude, and it wholly proves to me that there is a chance that they do this for the next 3D Mario game. I also think this idea is definitely in the front of Nintendo's head because the last few years they've had a big push on open world games. Obviously the last two Zeldas were giant successes. Mario Kart World had an open world. Wow. But I think that an open world for this Mario game could be a genre-defining moment for 3D platformers. The way in which Odyssey and Bonanza go about exploration, where you just want to see every single inch of an area, could translate so well into an open world. Bowser's Fury is only like a 5-hour DLC, but it feels like 30 minutes because you just cannot put it down. Oh, it's always like, let me do one more level. Let me just do this one more level. And suddenly you have already beat the entire game. And if they stretch this out into a 30, 40-hour Mario game, I think I would cry. So let's say in my stupid hypothetical, Bowser teleports New Donk City onto this world. From here, it sets you free. It shows you the map. It doesn't tell you where to go. It says, here's this entire world of wacky Mario bullshit. Now go. This is the type of game I have dreamt about for this franchise forever. Everything just seems to be pointing towards this route, so I really hope that I end up being right about this. Now, enough of the fun stuff. Let's talk about some nerd shit for this game. Something that Donkey Kong Bonanza did that I really like is the skill tree. It wasn't anything super complex, but I think it added a lot to the game. It added a great incentive to get bananas, which are like the moons or the stars of this game. Well, I think Odyssey did have some extra motivation to get moons, like the extra unlockable areas. Getting skills from bananas felt like a way more immediate reward than having to wait and get 150 moons so you could unlock some area way in the future. And almost all of these rewards in Odyssey were after you beat the main game, so there wasn't really an incentive to explore while playing the main game, which is a shame because the best part of Odyssey is the post game, and most people just put it down after they beat it. I don't know how they would implement the skill tree to Mario, but if they did, I think it would add a great incentive to explore more. I also think it would be a little annoying to run around everywhere as Mario in this map, which is something that Bowser's Fury has already solved with this guy. This dude pops up wherever you need him. You can hop on his back and swim around with him. And holy shit, I just had a revelation. This game could be on some like Wind Waker type shit, like sailing to different islands on this world, but you're Mario, and we could call it Super Mario Expedition. We're keeping Super Mario Expedition. I also really hope they keep the customization for this game, because that is easily one of my favorite parts of both of their previous games. I just love dressing up this little Italian. I feel like this one's a given because of the last two games, so I think they're definitely gonna do that for the next one. And to go back to Bonanza for a bit, the map in this game is UI and UX perfection, bro. The Odyssey map isn't too bad, but the 3D map that they do in Bonanza is, oh my god. I love how it zooms in right to where you're looking on the map. It's just so much easier to navigate a 3D space with a map like this. This shit needs to be in the next game. Maybe if it is an open world, they could have it zoomed into the general area you are so it doesn't get overwhelming with this giant 3D map. But genuinely, I pray that they do something like this for the next game because it is just impeccable. We also talk about how this game is going to look and feel, because I think Bonanza sets a really high bar for what this should be. The way this game looks, the plant life, the details of the colors, the lighting is just so amazing. Everything about this game is satisfying to look at and satisfying to control and hear. I'm also hoping with the amount they've been pushing these enhanced games for the Switch 2 that they really drive that home for this next game and put a lot of detail into it. Because if there's any game that would be a console seller for them, it's gonna be this next 3D Mario. They could really push the graphical and performance upgrades to really show the depth of this game. And with every entry in this franchise, Mario gets snappier and smoother to control. So I have no doubt that this game will set a new bar in that department as well. I also think Nintendo is really good at not sacrificing performance for style. All of these games have impressively little glitches, especially Bonanza. For how crazy the physics system in that game is, I am shocked that I haven't ran into more weird glitches with it. I also hope they take a more stylized approach to this game. Similar to Bonanza, they had a lot of cool, thematic, really stylistically consistent. Wow, that was a tongue twister. Stylistically consistent design in this game. I love the little cartoony effects Donkey Kong has. The title cards for the bosses are awesome. I think they could just have a lot of fun with the detail and character designs for this next Mario. Things like the little smoke trail when Mario runs, the sound effects of his jumps, the way his feet slap on different surfaces. This is just a game I think they should really go all out on stylistically, and I hope they do. Little details like this are what makes these games special and show the amount of passion and time these developers put into these games. Now, I do want to talk about my second dumbass theory, and it won't take as long, I promise. Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 port, Mario Galaxy movie, Mario Galaxy 3? Now, this one is much more of a stretch from happening, but I would be really excited. Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 is some shit I don't play about. It is a miracle that the physics system in that game functioned so well, and that game came out on the Wii. I think with how far gaming has come since then, they could take this idea so much farther than they did before. So who knows? Maybe it will be Galaxy 3. I can shut up and it'll be the best moment of my whole life. I will cherish Super Mario Galaxy 3 more than my own child when I have one. This team that makes these games just one-up themselves every single release, and I have no doubt they'll do it again. I genuinely don't think these guys are human. They redefined gaming itself with Super Mario 64, and they just continue to hold on to that crown all the way to today. And no matter what it is, I cannot wait to see what they have cooking up. And that's all I got for today. If you're excited for this game too, let me know. Let me know what you want to see in it, and let me know if all my ideas were fucking stupid and you hate them. Either way, leave a little like and subscribe if you want to see me rant about games made for children.